Hi, I'm Danny Clark of Collectors Firearms, and this is our Director of History, Marty Morgan. Today, we are featuring a Singer 1911A1. This is a very special gun. Singer was one of the contractors during World War II. Colt was the primary manufacturer, but they weren't able to make enough, so they had other manufacturers like Ithaca, Remington Rand, Union Switch and Signal, and the rarest contractor was Singer, same Singer sewing machines. Singer only made 500 guns total, and almost all, if not all, were issued to the Air Force. This is the second or third one that I have owned. I know I owned one other before, and I think I had a third one that just had a Singer slide on it, so it was positive. But most of these guns were lost in combat. From the numbers that I know out there, I'm guessing that there's probably 100 or so surviving examples. The condition of this one is one that has been carried, but it is still in really, really nice condition. You have a little bit of high edge wear, but it is been well taken care of. And the neatest thing about it, and I'm going to turn this over to Marty to explain, is this is a one-owner gun. It was issued to the pilot of the B-24, and it never went back. So Marty, tell us about who it was issued to.
Thomas Randolph Morse, when he was a young second lieutenant, was issued this sidearm and carried it during an era when he flew 35 combat missions over the Mediterranean and Southern Europe. Between April 4th, 1944 and July 3rd, 1944, he flew his 35 missions to tough targets like Ploesti in Romania, Munich, Germany, Vienna, Austria, Budapest, and Hungary. These weren't milk runs. These were very difficult missions, and he managed to survive them all. He carried this on each and every one of them as a pilot, flying a B-24H model that had the name Invictus. That was his wife's idea to name the aircraft that. Invictus, Latin for undefeated. The aircraft surviving 35 missions was actually undefeated. He was flying for the 461st Bombardment Group, 765th Bombardment Squadron of the U.S. Army 15th Air Force. And this pistol was at his side on each and every one of the missions that he flew during that time period. Upon completing Mission 35, he got to rotate back to the United States, and when he did so, he brought the Singer with him. He then continued to carry the Singer when he flew 48 missions during the Berlin airlift.
Oh, wow.
So in addition to this being such an exceptionally rare example of the M1911A1 and in exceptionally great condition, this is a combat-carried, provenanced piece to Thomas Randolph Morse, who owned it until 1996. And in 96, he decided to part with the gun because he was getting older and he thought he would soon die. He lived on until 2018, interestingly. But in 1996, he sold it, provided a letter proving the chain of custody ownership. And when he sold the piece, he also let go with it his Distinguished Flying Cross, the DFC that he was awarded for completing 35 combat missions over tough targets in the Mediterranean and Southern Europe.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we have a true World War II veteran here.
Yeah. A combat-issued gun with provenance, with really undefeatable provenance. That calls on us to remember not just the air crewmen who flew during World War II, but specifically the men of the often overlooked 15th Air Force who flew missions from bases first in North Africa and then eventually in Italy. And we often overlook the fact in favor of the 8th Air Force that the men of the 15th Air Force flew against tough targets like Munich, Vienna, Budapest, Ploesti in Romania.
And a bunch were shot down.
Yeah, which is why I think so few Singers survive today.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, the Singer is, it's kind of a holy grail for a World War II collector, a 1911 collector. So a very special gun that we have here today.
Yeah. An exceptionally rare piece with an incredible history.